All right, let's jump right in. We're about to talk about one of the most powerful and, honestly, most invisible forces that shapes your entire life, your habits. They're like these secret programs running in the background, pretty much dictating what you do and, when you get right down to it, who you become.
And look, that's not me being dramatic. The person you're going to be in 5, 10 years, well, they're being built right now. By these small, repeated actions, you're programming into yourself today. So yeah, the stakes are pretty high.
To really get this, let's start with a real-world mystery. A company that has absolutely mastered the power of habit on a global scale. I'm talking about, you guessed it, Starbucks.
Now really, think about it for a second. What on earth makes millions and millions of people line up there every single day all over the world? What's their real secret weapon? Well, it's definitely not what you think at first. I mean, a lot of people would say it isn't the absolute best coffee out there, and it is for sure not the cheapest. So if it's not the quality and it's not the price, then what is it? Here's the secret, and it's kind of wild. Most people don't even think about it. They just go. They walk up to that counter, they already know exactly what they're going to order, they don't even need to look at a menu. See, Starbucks isn't just selling coffee. They've managed to install themselves right into our daily, unconscious routines.
So that Starbucks example, it's the perfect lead-in to a pretty mind-blowing scientific truth about our own lives. Pretty much all of us are living on a kind of autopilot.
And that number is huge. Get this, a whopping 95% of your daily actions, your thoughts, your feelings, your behaviors, they aren't driven by your conscious mind. Nope, they're driven by your subconscious programming. Think about that. That tiny little 5% sliver, that's you, actively thinking, making choices, using willpower. The rest, the massive 95%, that's just your brain on autopilot, running the scripts it already knows. That's your life.
Let's make this super real. Just think about your morning. You wake up, maybe you grab your phone and check your apps in the exact same order every single time. You brush your teeth, you take a shower, you get dressed. You might even drive all the way to work without really remembering every single turn you made. That, right there, is the 95% in action.
Okay, so if our lives are basically running on this subconscious code, then how does the code actually work? Well, it all comes down to this really simple three-part process, and it's called the habit loop.
Turns out, every single one of your habits, I mean all of them, from biting your nails to checking your email, follows this exact same neurological pattern: a cue, a routine, and a reward. If you can understand this loop, you've found the key to your own behavior.
All right, first up, you've got the cue. This is the trigger. It's that little signal to your brain that says, hey, time to run that program now. It's basically the starting pistol that kicks off the whole automatic behavior.
And trust me, these cues are everywhere. That little ding from your phone, that's a cue. The feeling you get after finishing a big meal, that's a cue. Even just seeing a messy counter in your kitchen, yep, that's a cue too. And each one is a potential trigger for a specific habit. So that cue, it's what kicks off the routine. Now, this is the action itself, the behavior you just do almost without thinking. This is the part we actually think of as the habit, right? So you see how it all connects, right? The cue of finishing a meal might lead to the routine of lighting a cigarette. The cue of a phone notification leads to the routine of instantly checking it. The cue of seeing a mess leads to the routine of tidying up. Or, for some of us, ignoring it. And yeah, both are habits. And finally, and this might be the most important piece of the puzzle, you get the reward. This is that little hit of satisfaction that tells your brain, hey, that whole loop we just did, that was good. Let's remember to do that again next time. The reward is what locks the habit in place. Okay, so we've cracked the Starbucks mystery and we've decoded the neurological loop that's running our lives. So now what? This is where things get really exciting. Because when you understand the program, you can become the programmer. And this is where it all just clicks into place. The giant, external mystery of a billion-dollar company and the personal, internal mystery of your own autopilot behavior. They have the exact same answer: the habit loop. It's running everything. And what this shows us is the most powerful tool you have for making a change. It's not about just gritting your teeth with more willpower or trying to find more motivation. The single biggest factor, by a long shot, is simply awareness. Just understanding the cues, routines, and rewards that are already running your life.
So the big takeaway here is this: your habits are a code that your brain is just executing.
But once you can see that code clearly, once you can actually identify the loops, you suddenly get the power to start debugging it, to change it, and to write new routines that actually serve you better.
And all of this leaves us with one last really powerful question to think about. If your life is a program, one that runs on autopilot 95% of the time, who's been writing the code up until now? And more importantly, who's going to write it from now on?